A steak this good can't be just eaten, it has to be earned. I'm gonna pack up Calabar with my camp and go deep into the mountains.
It sounds like he's got his foot over the lead rope.
And the challenge is, I have to catch at least one fish. Uh-oh. Oh no, no, you sucker. I got a big knot before I can eat that steak.
Steak is locked.
I got some bad news. That is not gonna work. Let's go.
Before I head to the mountains, Calabar needs some new shoes.
I'm putting new shoes on his front feet. You can see here, well, that's what a new shoe looks like. Now I gotta put in the rest of the nails. When you put nails in, you're making sure that they come out where there's no feeling. So that's like the fingernail part of your finger that you cut off. That's what you're actually putting in there. If you hit live foot, then you create an abscess and it's a big mess. You don't wanna do that. There, all the nails are in. Sweaty, hard job, I'll tell you that. Seems like every day there's a few thunderstorms coming over those mountains, so they just show up unbidden. I have absolutely zero idea where I'm gonna end up. I'm gonna pack all my stuff on him and lead him in. So here's the stuff I'm gonna pack right here. Obviously this is a lot more, it's spread out quite a bit, but it's a lot more than I would pack if I was just backpacking. Then that would be a smaller subset of this. Basically you have to have an even amount of weight on each side of the horse or the saddle starts to tip. That will make a horse sore. It'll start wearing into his back on one side or the other. So you got to make sure that that is dead center. Got everything on the horse. It doesn't look great because the backpack won't lay down in there. That means that it's a little tall. So you can see this side is nice and closed up. That side looks like it's been a long time since I've just taken one horse. Usually I take none or more than one. I think what it should do is just make my life easier so I don't have to work quite so much taking care of more horses, and I can walk like this. Gives me some exercise, but I don't have to carry any weight, and I have everything I need when I get there. What do you think, Calabar? Now if you see here, he has got kicked in the knee, so you can see that. He got to fighting over a mare. Women will always cause fights in males. He has been completely out of commission for 2 weeks, and I haven't ridden him at all. Ran him in today and he wasn't limping in the least bit. He'll probably be okay for this trip, especially since I'm not riding him most of the time. It wasn't bad at all. He went across the People Bridge. It was a better People Bridge than I was thinking. This one won't work. That's too... Usually they have a way around it. Problem is I'm gonna get wet. Luckily I'm wearing my Canatrex. Should be able to just wade across here. As long as it doesn't go over my, as long as I stay on my tippy toes. Yep.
Those rocks are extremely slippery.
Just gotta make sure it doesn't go over the tops of my boots. Then I'm fine. There we go. Calabar here, he's not that old, and usually he's got very strange ideas about everything. He hasn't really figured out that he's all by himself yet, because I think he would care. Don't want to fall down that. Stay up here, Calabar. Whew. That's like 200 feet down, right to the bottom. Okay, he's probably gonna hit this. Barely. If you're ever going on something this steep with a horse, don't stop. Never stop on something like this, because they will almost inevitably stick a back foot over the edge while they're sitting there. When you're going on something like this, you just got to keep going no matter what's happening. Ooh. Trail's washed out right there even. Hopefully we don't hit a log across the trail here, because then you'd have to stop and figure out how you're going to get around, turned around to go back. Holy shnikes. Stay over here, buddy. Come on. Ooh. Caved in right there. I gotta watch where I'm going and make sure I pay attention to what he's doing at the same time. You just never know what your horse is gonna do. They like to walk on the very edges of the trail. So if they walk on an edge like that and that gives way, you would fall to a crappy end. Yeah, everything looks good. With this pack sticking up like it is, it's hard to tell if you're all level. It looks like we are. You got to just look at the saddle and make sure the saddle's in the middle on the back and the front. And that's how you tell if it's level. It's hard to do that when you got the packs looking off, so it looks like it's crooked, but the saddle's in the right place. And be careful on this stuff with horses though, so they don't turn a foot or something. You all right, buddy? Don't go too fast. Don't go too fast. Just pick your way through it. There you go. There you go. This is what the trail looks like now. Goodness. I don't remember it being in the bottom at all. Following that nice creek right here. Probably could catch a fish in there. I just don't know how I'm gonna camp down here in this bottom with the horse. Gotta find some grass for the horse to eat. That's not the right way. This is the right way. Oh man alive. I'm not sure if this is up there, if a horse can get over that. Better go check before I take him up there and see. Okay, he can navigate this. I'm worried about that right up there. You gotta be a little bit of a mountain goat. Whew. Okay. Ooh, sharp rock. You gotta get right here beside this thing and then go up without hitting that tree. Well, maybe you can make it. Honestly, I don't know, because if you get up there, you can get up through that stuff, but then when you get to that spot where he's got to jump over the great big tree roots, if he jumps up and hits that pack right there, which is a little wide, on that tree and knocks himself over the side, it would be very, very bad. I just don't know whether to try it or not. I honestly don't know. It's pretty hairy for a horse. Not really for just a horse. A horse could do it, but with the pack on, that's what I'm worried about, is him hitting the pack on it. I think I might go back and try a different trail that goes up there in a different way. It might be steeper than a son of a gun, but better do something before it gets dark. If I got past that, probably be home free, but I don't remember this trail at all, so I don't know if I go up further if it's worse. I don't know. Maybe I'm a pansy, but I don't want my horse to flip over. It would probably work. I just don't quite know if a horse with a pack is going to hit that tree. I could take the packs off, hike him up there, and then come back and hike the packs over the hill. Well, let's go try that other trail. Easy, easy. Not too fast now, not too fast. Just brushed it. Don't want those to knock you off the edge there. I don't know, this one doesn't look like much of a trail. I'm wondering if they actually cleared this one this year. They cleared that one, but this one, I don't know, it looks pretty faded. Look at this, this is little tiny wild raspberries. Actually pretty good. Here's a bigger one. A little bigger. They don't get very big, but no, there's a ton of them in here. I'm gonna take a couple more. He doesn't like them, but I do. This doesn't look too good. Looks like there's been some cows down it, but that's about it. I'm gonna cross the creek right here and see if there's a spot to set up camp right over there. There's some grass down by the creek. So this is a little deeper. There you go, good boy. This might work. This is not where I was gonna go, but I really had no idea where I was gonna go anyway, so. I actually think right here might be a great spot. It looks like it's protected, so if a storm comes over and starts hitting lightning everywhere, I'm down kind of in more of a bottom, so that it can hit up there all at once. I probably will be able to catch a fish out of this creek, maybe. And there's good grass out in this meadow behind me for a cowboy here, so I think it's a perfect spot. I'm gonna tie him up right here to take the packs off. So first thing I'm gonna do is hobble Calabar so he can eat something. What hobbling is you're tying the front two legs together, but that doesn't mean they can't move. Sometimes they can move just as fast or faster with those things on than they can with them off. So I'm gonna put them on, then I'll have to keep a close eye on him. I'm gonna go around this foot right here. Try not to hit his hurt knee. And you go through there and go through this loop. You move his other foot up here where it's close. They can walk a tiny bit forward, really short steps, but usually what they'll do is they'll hop. So they'll usually hop like that. They usually kind of bunch up and then they hop. But if they get to going, they can actually lope. They can go at a run like that, so that's what you got to watch. And I'm going to set up camp, unless I see him going past me. All right, back here, and put it right there. One of the first things I like to do before I do any of the rest of this challenge, so I still have to go out there and catch a fish. So I don't know how I'm gonna cook that because I don't think we can have a fire here. So I'm gonna have to use my jet boil single burner thing to cook it. That could be difficult. We'll see how that goes. I like to have my tent set up and my clothes and my sleeping bag and everything all underneath it before I do anything else, because it doesn't look like it's going to rain, but you never know. If you put that up right away, get kind of most everything underneath something, then you don't have to worry about it so much. Let's go catch a fish. All right, almost ready to go catch a fish. I gotta get going, man. This is I'm kind of behind the 8 ball on this. Sun's kind of going down. I see where Calabar's wandering off to over here. What you doing over here? What are you doing over here, buddy? Huh? Yeah? What are you doing? What you doing, bud? Gotta find a little hole somewhere. I can't see the thing. Got a big knot right here. So what happens when you're in a hurry, when you're fly fishing in a hurry, this knot is getting worse and worse. Taking me too much time. Oh my goodness, what a knot. It's not really a knot yet. If I was to pull it tight, it would become a knot very quickly. We're losing the light. Can't see my horse. Oh, I can see him. He's headed over this way. All right, I'm gonna see if I can catch one now. There we go. Oh, shoot, I missed him. I missed him. There we go. Oh, come on, come on. Oh, there we go, there we go. It's a beautiful, it's not very big. It's fighting really good, but it's not very big too. For this little creek, that's a big one. That's a big-ish one. That's a nice fish. But that's a nice fish. That's a very nice, oh shoot. Oh, don't get away. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, I got him. What the thing, you know, the stringer, again. Uh-oh. Oh, no, no, you sucker. He's out there. He's gone. Well, okay, that still counts.
Steak unlocked.
I have earned this steak. Right, buddy? Right, bud? Hmm? You have that wrapped all the way around your foot, don't you? You know what I should have done is brought a chair. Since I had the horse, I had room to stick the chair on there. But I didn't. See if we can heat up this frying pan enough to cook the steak on here. Whoops. Won't be starting any forage fires, that's for sure. Well, I hate to tell you this, but I got some bad news. That is not going to work. So every time I set the pan down on the burner, it goes out because I don't have any little feet to hold this up off the burner. It's putting the flame out because it's suffocating it. So you need something on there that you can put this on, and I don't have that. So what we're going to have to do, which isn't going to hurt to taste any, We're gonna have to do it in here. I'm gonna just put a bunch of butter in here because butter makes everything better. Yeah. Then we're gonna cut this up into steak cubes. $100 steak, and I'm gonna cut this sucker up into pieces to put it on there. Isn't that sad? But there's no other way to do it. So, gonna get some butter hot in there. Turn that down a little bit. Burn our butter all to pieces before we even get the steak on it. Let's cut this off like that. So this is not how you cook a $100 steak, typically. But you gotta do what you gotta do. And just start dropping it in here. Steak cubes. Look at the marbling in that. It's just marbling all over the place. Bunch of salt in there. Bunch of pepper in there and stir it around. There we go. So it's gonna end up like that, which is a monstrosity of a thing, but what are you gonna do? I would think that'd be about done. I don't have no idea. So, cut a chunk off of that. Well, yeah, even cooking it like this, and it's all, I mean, it's a little tough when you're trying to cut it. Either that or my knife is really dull. I mean, look at that. It's all fatty and juicy. This is from Marbled Meats in Billings. And the way they feed their cattle just makes it so you can't even screw it up. It's so rich. It's so rich and fatty and tender and juicy. It's like the juiciest steak you can imagine, even after doing that. You can just see the juice on there running off on the plate. This is a American Wagyu, so half Angus, half Wagyu. And it's literally like melting in my mouth, like melting apart. It isn't tough at all. My knife must be horribly dull. I remember one time my dad and I, "What you doing, Calabar?" He's coming over to say hi, trying to find me. We bought some steaks. They weren't steaks at all. Really, they were like ground beef patties, but they were in the shape of a steak. And we ate them in the dark. And when we fried them up, we were putting ketchup on them, and they tasted awful. Well, we couldn't really see in the dark, so we thought maybe something wrong with the meat. And so we got to looking around, and we discovered finally that the ketchup bottle we bought ketchup that had no salt added. That was the worst tasting thing I think I've tasted in a long time. It was awful, and it made that meat taste rotten. So we started adding salt to it. Couldn't add enough salt or sugar to that thing to make it taste like ketchup at all. Where are you headed? Huh? Yeah, he's thinking he's gonna go back down the trail. That's what I figured he would do at some point. You gotta stay here with me. We'll go get you a drink. Done eating, so you're just screwing around, huh? Is that what's going on? Is that what's going on, bud? Yeah, he's thirsty. He was headed back for the river, for the creek. So horses always think, oh, I'll just take a little drink and then be done. But then they don't realize they may not be able to drink till morning. Right, buddy? So you want to take another drink? Take another little drink? Or maybe not. Horses are a lot of work. You got to keep track of them, make sure they're not headed back for the trail. And horses have to graze for probably at least an hour or maybe two to get satisfied in a day. That just a half hour at a time is not going to do it. So you got to let them graze for a considerable amount of time. I think he's grazed for quite a while here, so he should be fine for tonight. Put all my food away and put it up in the tree. Get my rope up there over that branch. I'm gonna have to throw it through some other little branches. So it's hard to do that with a light rope. So if you can find a decent sized rock and tie it around that, then you can throw it up through them branches and it should go right through there. Look at that. Perfect shot. Now all I have to do is bring over the food and untie the rock and tie it to there. If you try to throw it through those little branches like that, the rope will just get hung up in those, but a rock won't. Calabar is doing so well. I thought for sure, I mean, being by himself like this, he doesn't like to be by himself, but he's been in the mountains so much lately that I think he's getting used to it and he doesn't even care, at least right now. He's full. I mean, he did great just grazing around too. He didn't worry about where I'm at and that there isn't any horses there or nothing. He's just standing here nice. Yeah. Becoming a good mountain horse, aren't you? Sometimes it's a lot easier if you push it and then pull. There we go. You're supposed to hang it 10 feet in the air. That's like 13 or 14 feet in the air, so that ought to be plenty. There's so many bugs down here, I think I'm gonna put my boots inside the tent this time instead of outside. Last time I put them outside, which is fine, but if there's a lot of bugs, they will get you. Well, we'll see you for breakfast in the morning.
It sounds like he's got his foot over the lead rope. So I don't know that he does. He might not. But I gotta go check. Just to make myself feel better. Otherwise I can't go back to sleep. So I'll go check a minute. No, he's fine over there. Like I said, I thought he's probably fine. It spooks him probably to see the light. They can see so well in the dark that when you have a light on like this, it spooks him because they can't see into it, so he's snorting. The way the thumping of the ground, you can hear their hooves on there. Sometimes you just get this thing in your mind, you're like, are they okay? Sounds like they're hobbling around the tree. Just thought I better check just in case he's got his foot over the lead rope or whatever. There, now that I'm completely wide awake at 1 o'clock in the morning, now I can try to go back to sleep. Well, good morning. It's about time to get up. It's a little before 6 o'clock in the morning. Other than getting up in the middle of the night to go check on the horse, it was a pretty good sleep, so.
I think he's more hungry this morning than he is thirsty. See that? Well, we'll let him eat for a while and then we'll water him again. Calabar is like a teenager. He's just always hungry. It doesn't matter how much you feed him, he's always hungry. So I completely did this wrong. I put the sausage in there first. Now, when you're doing this, typically I would go get some water and boil it, so I had coffee first. Now I'm gonna have food in there. Dang it. I never planned for not having a campfire. The not having a campfire thing is throwing me off. Like last time I brought hard-boiled eggs because, and the reason for that is I don't even like hard-boiled eggs, but I just chopped them up and put them in there. This time I didn't because I got the horse so I can carry a little bit different weight. The problem is with packing of any kind, backpacking around a horse, ending up with eggs that aren't broken when you get there is very difficult. Even when I took the hard-boiled eggs, they were all cracked up by the time I got there. What I do is, if I can carry a cooler or something to keep it cool, or if it's the right time of year to keep it cool, you just put some eggs in a little bottle that is completely sealed. And what that does is then they're already broken, so they can't really break. I just have 2 eggs in here. I'm just gonna plop them in there. See, they're pretty scrambled. One of them is completely scrambled. That's just because of all the shaking it does on the way up here. That's why you really can't have uncracked eggs. Some of my homemade sourdough bread. Put a little butter on it. I heated my knife up so that it doesn't have all the, hopefully I killed all the bacteria on my knife. Honestly, I'm thinking of changing my knife. This is not the knife you want if you're trying to keep bacteria from getting in there, because it can hide in between this. This is a replaceable blade knife. I think it can probably get in there and hide in there, and you want to be able to clean that knife off. Nice sausage and egg scramble. Look at that. I'll tell you what, when you eat stuff like this, it's good, but when you eat it out here, it's way better. Butter's melting in there with the eggs and that tang of the sourdough. Wow, that's good. Sometimes it's hard to get out of a nice, comfortable home, away from the TV, all the entertainment that you got available. And there's even a little bit of, you can feel a little bit of fear sometimes when you come out to places like this where you're so remote and there's bears around and things like that. But there's so much enjoyment in it. You feel so much more alive doing it. I believe that's a part of the connection we have with God's creation. We feel more connected to it, but you feel a little bit wild too. I mean, you feel a little primitive and wild when you're out here doing this kind of stuff. I'm messaging my wife this morning with my Garmin. It's always good to stay in touch with your family when you're away, especially by yourself. And so this is the best way I've found, because I can do it now with my iPhone with the satellite, but you got to connect to a satellite every time and then text, and the battery would just run out right away on your phone. Whereas if I leave it on airplane mode and connect it to this thing will stay charged for like 5 days. Definitely way better yet so far. Some people think that when you take horses, you need this great big huge camp all the time because you have room for it. But with me, like I just did here, just taking one horse, if you take all light gear, you can be very, very comfortable, or mostly light gear. You can be very comfortable and not have to carry anything and not take an hour and a half, you know, put your camp up and take it back down. When you have 2 people around, you just have each of them grab a pack and walk up there and put them on. This way you have to put one on and then get over to the other side quick enough to put the other one on, because while you're away, that pack is pulling your saddle over, or the pack saddle, either one. Whoa. He is really not wanting to stand here, and he's making it really hard. There we go. There. Now, that should ride right there. like that. Oh, you dirty, rotten sucker. If you would just stand still for a second. Tie this one over here, like this. Like that. Now we got one going that way and one coming this way. Just like that. Just like an X across the top. But I think that's going to work better. I think it's going to look better. Let's see if it looks better. Kind of. That side is way down. This side is not. But that's kind of because of what I have in it. They're pretty even in weight, just not in bulk. Well, that's it for this challenge. Thanks for coming along. Join me again next week for another adventure in life in the West. I'm Trinity Vandenaker. God bless.